Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to be doing a different method. The method we are going to be working with is the tree ring pour. Okay. Sorry, I'm definitely trying to get the angles better for you guys. I think this will work. Let me see. There. That should be a bit better. I eventually want to get like an arm so that you guys can be right up close with the pouring. Okay, so I don't know if any of you guys have heard of a tree ring pour, but if you haven't, you're in the perfect place to learn about it. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put some white on my canvas. All right, and I have just a popsicle stick that I'm going to use to spread the white out. This is just covering my board. Oops. Just a little bit. All right. Now we are going to get one of our cups. And a tree ring pour is basically the same as a flip cup or a dirty pour. We're layering colors, and then we are, using the cup to put the paint on our canvas. So sorry, I was trying to figure out what I was going to say. So I'm not the best at tree ring pours. It's something I definitely want to practice more. So hopefully this will be a good way to get some practice in. You saw that I put black on the bottom of my cup. That means that the center of our pour is going to be mostly black. It's kind of how it works with tree ring pours. Okay, so I have my cup of paint. And this is paint I've already pre-mixed. I didn't thin it. I might have to, but I'm not sure yet. I'm going to slowly start putting the paint on the canvas and rotating my hand. So if you can see, we're making little circles. Now the tinier the rotation and the closer to the canvas you are, the tighter your rings are going to be. The higher up you are and the farther away from your canvas, the thicker and a little bit chunkier your rings will be. So if you hear my bird in the background, he's a little upset. He's not with me. All right, so this is what we have right now. I'll zoom you in so you can see. This is what the painting looks like right now. I'm just gonna let it sit for a second and see if it wants to go anywhere. Sorry for the overhead glare. I can't really do anything about that. We have some very nice painting shimmer going on. Okay, so with tree rings, I do like to use a little bit of heat to get rid of the bubbles and let the paint move, but we won't do it with this one. This one will just work no heat. All right, oh, my bird flew onto the stove. My fiance's gonna come grab him. All right, so now we're gonna start tipping. With tree ring pours, I like to tip in a circular motion. I like to try and keep the look of the ring as much as I can. but I don't know if I'm ever actually able to achieve it. Now, I hope you guys were able to watch my video about canvas boards and kind of see how I deal with the problem of them curling. Because like I said in that video, I love using these. They're seriously so nice. And recently, I guess because of the holiday season or because it's summer, Michael's has been having some, sorry you guys can't see this, I have to tip it towards me. Michael's has been having some amazing sales, so definitely suggest, if you can, go check out Michael's. See if you can get some of these. Honestly, I'm not even gonna lie. It's probably because I'm filming, but this is probably my most favorite pour I've ever done for a tree ring. Yeah, oh my god. That looks really nice. That's so neat. Okay, that's so cool. All right. Okay, all right. So I'm gonna try and put the center of the pour in the middle of the canvas, and I'm just gonna get these edges. All right, so let me zoom y'all out. I'm sorry about that. Let me wipe my hands off first. Yeah, that was the first tree ring pour. Let me pause it, wipe my hands, and I'll bring you down for a close look. All right, so here it is up close. I'm also wondering if it's maybe because I finally used the correct cup. I normally use plastic cups for the tree ring pour, but with my paper cup, I was able to get kind of like a point. Oh, I love that. I think it looks so cool. I might add a little bit more white in our next one. But anyway, I'm gonna move this over to dry, and then we are gonna do another tree ring pour. All right, so the next one I want to do is actually, I want to do a tree ring pour with some negative space. So again, I'm just going to put a layer of white paint down. Now, if you don't like that you're having a lot of waste from your pours, what you can do, and what I'm actually thinking of trying, is you can put some plastic, like some I think it has to be polyurethane plastic down, and once everything has dried, so like right now my paint is just soaking into this puppy pad, but on the plastic, once it's dried, you can actually peel the paint off and have an acrylic skin that you can then use for jewelry and just like a host of other things. So that's definitely something to look into. So I'm going to use the same cup, and since there's some black, I think I'm going to put some white down there. We'll go for some red. This one I will use some heat, but I don't think I'm going to use any silicone. I really just don't like the high maintenance of having to deal with the silicone. And then I think I'm going to put like one little shot of white. And then for this one's called a traveling tree ring. And it's called that because we're going to start at the corner, start pouring, but I'm slowly going to travel. And see, I've never done this one, so it's probably coming out a little yikes. But you know what, that's okay. I'm experimenting. So basically what you're doing with the traveling is you're still making the circles, but you're just moving your hand across your canvas, or back and forth, or up and down. It just depends on you. And then I am going to bring a little bit of heat into this one. Like I said, you could use a barbecue lighter. You absolutely don't have to go and put any investment into a butane torch. I like them, but it's a personal preference. Okay, so I'm gonna stretch this way. I really like how that looks. I'm gonna stretch over here. Another thing I should mention is what I really like about Floetrol compared to glue is that with Floetrol, I'm gonna try and maybe tip this way a little bit. With Floetrol, all of your paint eventually levels out. With glue, you might still get some lumpy bumpies, which you can absolutely just call texture. I've done it. But I do like the aspect of Floetrol being kind of like a self-leveler. Leaven is for bread. And I really like the way this is looking. I'm not a huge fan of negative space because my thought is fill up the whole canvas. You bought it to fill it up, but I actually kind of like how this looks. Yeah, and then just make sure, and you can always touch up if you don't think, oopsie, if you don't think the white's spread out enough. You can always just touch up the white. See, I accidentally got some paint where I didn't want it. See if I can make that look a little normal. I think I might drip and just have the edges be the negative space. By far, tipping is the part that takes the longest and takes the most patience. Because you definitely want to watch your paint, you want to monitor it, you want to make sure it's not tipping too fast, too slow. Alright, let's tip a little off this edge still. Alright. You know what? For my first traveling ring pour, that's not too shabby. I think I'm going to try something else. So you can also go in with a tool and kind of make like swipes in your paint. And for some reason I imagine this looks like a feather. So I'm just making like little interesting swipes in there. Who knows? It might look horrible. It might look gross. It might be a masterpiece. You never know until you try. It's not bad. It's practice. All right, so check this out. I've got all those really cool lines together. I like this. I think it looks okay. All right, so we're gonna try one more tree ring pour. All right, I really wanted to try and give coasters a shot. So I have those wooden blocks I showed you, or wooden circles I showed you in the last video. And I'm gonna get 4 cups. I want them to like make sense as a coaster set. So I want to try and put the same, at least sequence of paint in each. And these coasters are only 4 inches, so I don't think I need anything but one layer of paint. So let's do yellow. And I'm squeezing into the center because I want to get a mix of these colors. I'd like for some purple, some green, you know, all my secondaries. Okay. All right, so that's, I think, enough for each coaster. So let's give it a pour. I'll start with this one first. So see, I think the importance is pinching these cups. You really want that tip, and you want to go slow. I think those are a couple of things I'm learning right now. Oops. I might have just rushed that center a little bit. I over tipped the cup. That's fine. All right, so that's one. Let's do this one over here. You're more than welcome to skip to the end if you just want to see the results, but I love watching Mixed Media Girl, Pour Your Heart Out, Gina DeLuca. Those are some of like my favorite pour channels, and I love to just put them on right before bed, watch them. I kind of decompress and enjoy a nice artsy pour. So let me grab this one now. But yeah, I said these you can find on Amazon, and I believe I corrected myself in the supply video. I think I purchased like 24 for $8.99. I don't know. I'll have this supply video at the end in the card, as well as my entire acrylic pour list since now. As you can see with this one, I think my table's a little unlevel, so it is kind of tilting weirdly. That's fine. I'm not a perfectionist with the paintings. But I'm really surprised at how much I can do with just primaries. Really, really am. It's so cool. So I'm just keeping the circles small. I'm staying really close to the paint. And voila! Okay, I'm gonna give a quick torch to each of these just because I do like that the fire brings out, well, the heat. The heat brings out a little bit of the cells. If you have a heat gun at home, that would be something you could definitely use to help. This also has no Floetrol in it. It is simply me just mixing the paints with Floetrol and water. So I actually don't want to tip too much off at all. I want to see how these do with the paint still on them. Tip some off. But I really want to keep some of that circular movement on there. I think I tipped more off this one than I did off the others. Okay, I really like the red on here, so maybe we'll tip some of this blue off. Kind of recenter it. I really like these. I think these are super neat. This one I think has too much paint on it though. So probably just take some off so that we don't have any cracking. That is a problem you can have if you have too much paint left on your canvas or whatever you're pouring on, is you can have something called crazing, which is where certain parts of the paint dry faster than others. So keep your paints out of drafts, and also try and not put too much paint on your canvases. So I'm gonna wipe my hands and then bring you down for a closer look. All right, so here are our different circles. If you can see over here, there's some cells. I'm really excited for these. I really, really like these. And then we have our painting that we did second, which was the traveling tree ring pour. It hasn't really changed all that much. And lastly, oh, the camera's not picking this up. We have our original tree ring pour. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, a share, and maybe a like. And until next time, I'm Kat with Spasmodic Arts, and thank you guys so much for watching. Bye!